You chose this.
What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the changes to the gameplay that we might see in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So one key thing in Star Wars Battlefront 2 that we already know about is that there are going to be no hero or vehicle pickups in the game. Now I think there is no pickups in the maps at all in Star Wars Battlefront 2, so that includes the weapon pickups like smart rockets, thermal imploders, proximity bombs, turrets, and then there's also no hero pickups. They have changed the way the hero system works in Star Wars Battlefront 2, as well as the vehicle system. Now this pickup system has been replaced with a new resource system for heroes, vehicles, and I'm guessing weapons in the game like smart rockets, thermal imploders, etc, etc. So how I imagine this will work is when you are in a game, you will earn credits or something like that you can then spend on items within the game that may help you out, whether that's vehicles, heroes, or any sort of equipment that you might need. But at the moment there has been no new information about the system other than each hero, vehicle, weapon, turret, etc. will have a different cost depending on how powerful they actually are. For example, I imagine heroes will be more expensive to buy with the resources than vehicles, and then vehicles will be more expensive to buy than the standard weapons like the proximity bombs, etc. It has been said that in Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you spawn in as something, you will be that thing for the entire time that you are alive. Players will no longer just vanish from the battlefield in front of your eyes, which can get really annoying if you are about to kill them and they just poof, vanish into thin air to become a vehicle. So if you spawn in as a clone trooper or a droid, you will be a clone trooper or a droid for the whole time that you are alive, regardless of what happens within that life. I imagine that once you die, you will get a chance to use your resources that you have collected from that life to buy whatever equipment, hero or vehicle you think you need. With this resource system being in place, it means that multiple heroes will be playable on the battlefield at the same time, but they will be less powerful, so if normal troopers work together, they will have a chance to defeat the heroes a lot easier than it is in the current Star Wars Battlefront. So this will mean players will have to be more tactical and play smarter with the heroes that they choose. Speaking of this, some heroes will be more powerful against other heroes and weaker against others depending on who they are. This has been described as a rock, paper, scissors system. For example, Darth Maul might be really good against blaster wielding heroes, but he might not be so good against force wielding heroes. Whereas Yoda might be very good against force wielding heroes, but be more vulnerable to lightsaber wielding heroes. So if you are playing as a hero, for instance Darth Maul, and you run out into the middle of the battlefield where 10 clone troopers are waiting to face off with you, there is more of a chance of the clone troopers coming out on top because the heroes in Star Wars Battlefront 2 aren't as powerful as the ones in the current game. Some game modes in Star Wars Battlefront 2 will allow cross-era gameplay for heroes, but clones won't be able to fight against rebels, and droids won't be able to fight against the Resistance troops. So this means in Star Wars Battlefront 2 that we may see Yoda face off with Kylo Ren, and Han Solo face off against Darth Maul, which would be really cool, and it will make for some very interesting cinematic images from cinematic captures, and other guys out there who are extremely good with the cinematic tools. Heroes in Star Wars Battlefront 2 will also be more responsive and will react differently against abilities depending on who or what they are up against. For example, in the current Star Wars Battlefront, when a hero is being shot at, they all tend to have the same sort of response and the same movements, whereas in Star Wars Battlefront 2, I imagine if Darth Maul is hit with a force push, he will react differently to how Han Solo will react. It has also been said that in Star Wars Battlefront 2, lightsaber gameplay has been improved, so it will feel less clunky and less like you're banging two toys together, and will feel more sort of like the movies where it's a lot more fluid and a lot better to look at. At the moment in Star Wars Battlefront, when you see two lightsaber heroes, Luke and Vader, going at it, it kind of looks very disorganized and very sort of rigid compared to how it looks in the movies, so I do hope in Battlefront 2 it looks a lot more beautiful. Space battles will have 64 ships, which is a lot bigger than the current space battles in Battlefront 1. They will consist of 24 players and 40 AI. This will be really interesting to see how it works. I never played the space battles too much in the current game because I was not a fan of them. However, in Battlefront 2, if capital ships are in the maps as cover, in a similar way to how the space battles in the later DLCs for Star Wars Battlefront 1 are, then I will play them a lot more. There is also no partner or squad system. Something else will take its place, but there has been no information on what that is at the moment. I speculate it might be something like how the clones have the 5-0 first. Maybe when you are playing a game, it splits you up into divisions within the actual match. So maybe you will all have similar markings so that you can recognise which troop is your own on the battlefield. Blasters in Star Wars Battlefront 2 will also take more skill. Aiming down sight will have its benefits compared to the current game, where it doesn't make any difference at all. You will also be able to add attachments to your weapons, making them better for certain situations. You will be able to add scopes to your weapons so that they will work better at longer range, and I imagine you will be able to take these scopes off if you are playing on a closer range map and you don't feel like the scope is going to do you much good. Earlier in the video I mentioned the smart rocket and the thermal imploder, and they are confirmed to be in the game, but not through the pickups. There is no information on how they will be able to be used at the moment, but I think they could be available through something like the resource-based system. The progression system in Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be similar for the campaign and the multiplayer, but they will not be the exact same thing. So if you unlock something in the campaign, it won't unlock in the multiplayer for you. You will have to unlock them separately. There will also be unique characters for different planets. The only example that I can actually think of at the moment is the Wookiees on Kashyyyk, but there is no confirmation that the Wookiees or Kashyyyk will be in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but you get what I mean by that. Let me know down in the comments section below if you are excited for Star Wars Battlefront 2, if so have you pre-ordered it, and what gameplay changes would you like to see in the game. Make sure to smash a like on this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars gaming, especially Star Wars Battlefront 2. Other than that, may the Force be with you.